You have the answer. You know you should say something. You even rehearse the words in your head. But then that little voice says, what if I'm wrong? What if they laugh? What if they think I'm stupid? So you stay quiet, and the conversation moves on. You think of the perfect thing you could have said. Stay with me, because today's episode is about something that may be costing you more opportunities: silence. Welcome to the Confidence Blueprint. Today's message is simple. Speak up anyway. Not because you're always right, not because you know everything, but because you don't need to be perfect to have a voice. Let's begin. Picture yourself in a meeting. Wait, I think I have a great idea. Your team is discussing a problem. You've been thinking about it all morning. Suddenly, you realize you have an idea, a genuinely good one. You raise your hand slightly, then you hear someone else speaking. But what if we try this? Maybe my idea isn't good enough. A few minutes later, someone suggests almost exactly what you were thinking. Everyone loves it, and you're sitting there thinking, I knew that. Have you ever been there? Maybe it wasn't a meeting. Maybe it was a classroom, a business conversation, a family discussion, a relationship, or even social media. You had something to say, but fear convinced you that silence was safer. And sometimes silence feels safe today but becomes regret tomorrow. Confidence doesn't come first. Here's something we need to understand. Many people are waiting to feel confident before they speak, but confidence doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you speak first, then confidence catches up. Think about learning to swim. You don't become comfortable in the water by standing beside the pool studying it forever. At some point, you have to get in. Speaking is the same. Your first presentation may shake. Your first video may feel awkward. Your first opinion may come out imperfectly. That's okay. You're not trying to prove that you're perfect. You're practicing being courageous. Imagine a young employee named Daniel. He works in a small company. During one meeting, his manager announces that the company is about to spend thousands of dollars on a new system. Daniel notices it. The system won't work with one of the company's existing tools. He knows it, but he hesitates. He thinks, the manager probably knows better. Maybe I misunderstood. I don't want everyone looking at me. The meeting is almost over, and finally says, "Can I raise one concern?" He explains what he noticed. His manager checks the information. Daniel is right. The company postpones the purchase and discovers a serious compatibility problem. Now here's the important part. Daniel wasn't confident before he spoke. He became more confident because he spoke. One sentence changed the situation. Not because Daniel knew everything, but because he was willing to say, "Can I raise concern?" Sometimes courage doesn't sound powerful. Sometimes it sounds like a trembling voice saying, I have something to add. As Dale Carnegie famously emphasized, the path to becoming more effective with people involves developing the courage to express yourself rather than constantly retreating into fear. And there's a powerful principle here. Your voice doesn't have to be perfect to be valuable. Think about that. You don't need the perfect vocabulary. You don't need the perfect accent. You don't need the perfect presentation. You don't even need absolute certainty. Sometimes you simply need enough courage to begin. Before we go any further, if you're enjoying this conversation and it's giving you something to think about, take a moment to support the Confidence Blueprint. Like this episode, share it with someone who struggles to speak up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Confidence Blueprint and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss our upcoming episodes. We're building something bigger than a podcast. We're building a community of people learning to believe in themselves, overcome self-doubt, develop confidence of themselves. Thank you for being here. Now let's continue. The real enemy isn't always fear. Sometimes the biggest thing stopping you from speaking isn't fear, it's perfectionism. Perfectionism says, wait until you know more. Wait until you're more experienced. Wait until your English is perfect. Wait until your idea is flawless. Wait until you feel confident. Don't wait at all. Years will pass while you keep waiting for permission to become the person you already had the potential to be. Here's the truth. You can improve while you're being heard. You can learn while you're participating. You can make mistakes while you're growing. You can speak imperfectly and still make an impact. 3 rules for speaking up anyway. Let me give you 3 simple rules. Number 1, say something. You don't need a 5-minute speech. Start with 1 sentence. I have an idea. Can I ask a question? 1 sentence can open a door. Number 2, don't confuse discomfort with danger. Your heart may beat faster. Your palms may sweat. Your voice may shake. That doesn't necessarily mean don't do it. Sometimes it simply means this matters to me. Learn to recognize the difference. 3, let your first attempt be imperfect. Your first video doesn't have to be your best video. Your first presentation doesn't have to be your best presentation. Your first business idea doesn't have to be your final idea. Your first attempt is allowed to be a first attempt. Progress doesn't require perfection. It requires participation. Theodore Roosevelt once spoke about the importance of being willing to step into the arena rather than remaining safely, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. It's easy to criticize from the audience. It's harder to step into the arena, but growth happens in the arena. Confidence happens in the arena. Your voice becomes stronger when you actually use it. So here's your challenge for this week. I call it the Speak Up Challenge. For the next 7 days, find 1 moment every day when you would normally remain silent and speak. Share the idea, give the compliment, express your opinion respectfully, introduce yourself, make the phone call, post the thought. Whatever it is, speak. At the end of 7 days, you'll have 7 moments where you chose courage over hesitation. And those moments become evidence. Evidence that says, I can do this. And that's how confidence grows. I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want you to answer this in the comments. What is one thing you've been afraid to say, ask, or share because you were worried about what people might think? Maybe it's an opinion. Maybe it's an idea. Maybe it's telling someone how you really feel. Maybe it's asking for an opportunity. Maybe it's finally introducing yourself to someone you've admired. Whatever it is, you don't have to share anything deeply personal. Just tell us, what would you speak up about if you weren't afraid of being judged? Put your answer in the comments, because someone reading your response might realize, I'm not the only one who feels this way, and your courage could give someone else courage. Before you go, remember this, you don't have to wait until you're fearless. You don't have to wait until you're perfect. You don't have to wait until everyone approves. Sometimes, you simply have to take a breath, open your mouth, and say, I have something to say. Your voice matters. Your ideas matter. Your perspective matters. And you don't need to be perfect to be heard. So this week, speak up anyway. Speak while you're learning. Speak while you're growing. Speak while your voice is shaking. Because confidence isn't always the feeling that comes before courage. Sometimes the evidence you collect after you choose courage. Thank you for joining me on the Confidence Blueprint. If this episode spoke to you, like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Until then, believing, keep building, keep becoming. Because your voice might be the very thing someone else needs to hear. This is the Confidence Blueprint. I'll see you next week.